Hey, this is episode 35 of the Bits for You podcast. This is Robert. How are you guys? It's been a rough couple of days with the whole news about the Vegas shooting. So, I'm not going to get into that right now because we tried to get that info in the Wise Guys titled episodes of this show. So this episode is just us talking about TV, games, and movies and whatnot. So this episode, it's Frankie's back. Good friend Frankie is back. He was from the Hot Toys episodes. I think there was 2 episodes titled Hot Toys with him and Erlen. This is just Erlen was not available, so it was just Frankie. In this episode, we reminisce about visiting our local comic book shops, growing up in the 1990s, chatting about shows such as Dragon Ball Z and anime films that we saw in the 80s and 90s during that whole anime, the phase that pushed anime into the Western world. In response, the reason that Frankie's here in this episode is because he had a lot to say about the response to episode 32, which was titled Nintendo Go F Yourself. F, obviously, for fuck. So he's here on this episode in response to that. We chat about the Nintendo Virtual Console, the 3DS, Uncharted Lost Legacy, Indiana Jones, the movie series, James Franco's and Seth Rogen's take on the Tommy Wiseau's The Room. Their film, The Disaster Artist, is coming out later this year, based on the book, The Disaster Artist. Christopher Nolan's films. We talk about Sony's being against cross-platform play. Fucking A. Whenever I do these intros, my tongue fucking just gets numb. But when I'm doing the actual podcast episode, I have no issues. I don't know. Mario Rabbids, and Sony working on the PlayStation 5 and a few other things. So, yeah, it's just enjoy. You can always email us at bitsforyoupodcast@gmail.com. Our Twitter handle is bitsforyoupodcast. We like to interact a lot on Twitter. We do little polls and, ask your opinions on things. Instagram is bitsforyoupod. Facebook is the same as Twitter, Bits for You Podcast. And, iTunes, please review us on iTunes. Just give us a 5-star rating if you love it. If you hate it, let us know why as well. Give us the rating you think we deserve. A little quick review, that helps us a lot. And any other podcast app that you can rate and review us will be great. iTunes is the most popular one because 70% of all podcasts is heard on either iTunes, iPads, iPhones, iPods. Now with, I guess, Apple Watches. Now that the new Series 3 has LTE, I'm sure you can listen to podcasts on the go on that. So we're available on every podcast app out there. Obviously, because if you're listening to this, you must be using an app. So... But at least tell your friends, share it with your family. Hey, look, these guys that It's For You are fucking great. They love discussing things that we enjoy, things that you enjoy because you're listening. So, yeah, share this with your friends and family on social media, or tell them about it, or text them. Let them know. All right.
You sound sexy.
I always am.
I know.
Yeah, so August used to have those racks, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I remember I used to go get comics over there. Because back in the day, we didn't have, I think, we had one comic shop in Hialeah that I remember going to. There was 2. Because there's one by 67th and the Palmetto.
It was in the 90s?
Yeah, but the one that I used to go to all the time that was by my house was the one on 28th Ave, where that Walgreens, or not Walgreens, where the Winn-Dixie is, or
Right.
was. Now it's Fresco, or Fresca is the new name of it.
And 28th?
I think it's
And
28th.
68th?
68th and 28th, is it? Or
Where-
I'm really bad with
Where
directions.
where the Blockbuster used to be?
Yes.
The one that I worked at?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
There was one comic shop there. I don't know if
It
you
was
remember.
right next door.
And they sold beepers also.
yeah,
The
yeah.
guy was a dick.
He was an asshole. Yeah.
So I never went over there. I would always go to the Walgreens to get my comics there.
Yeah, the guy was a total asshole.
That was a dick.
Yeah. Yes, it was like a salt and pepper haired guy that was owned it, or was somebody else? Do you remember the guys?
No, he was
like?
salt and pepper for sure. It smelled like ass.
Yeah, that's the guy. Yeah.
He smelled awful. I remember that shit. Ugh.
He was a funny dude.
Yeah. And then I remember my brother used to go buy Pokemon cards from him later on.
He sold Pokemon cards?
Yeah. Because my brother was heavily into
I was never into that shit.
Neither was I. But I think that, like,
my brothers were.
Squeaked past us. In age. So.
It seems like it. I was never into it, though.
I felt like I was too old for it.
No, I think it.
Meanwhile, I'm jumping on turtles' backs and kicking them into Goombas.
Yeah. I don't know if it was. I don't know. I never got into that. I never got into what's the other thing called? It's like a coin, like a big, like a cog or
Pogs.
That's it. Pogs.
We used to have some of those. I remember.
I never liked that.
Yeah,
never.
That was like we had that. I think I think it was like for a couple months that we were really into it, and then after that we just stopped it. Like we stopped caring about it. But we were playing it. I remember we would take that on family vacations.
My brothers would. My cousins were into it. They used to play. Wow. We used to, when we would hang out. But I was never. I would be like, yeah, give me. What was it at that time? I had. Let me play with my Game Boy or whatever, or PlayStation. Yeah. PlayStation 1 wasn't that. Yeah, it was the PlayStation 1 era, Nintendo 64 era. Yeah, they were into that.
So like 96,
95-ish, 96. That's when Pokemon started getting big and the Pogs started getting big.
And the cartoon for Pokemon was going on. Uh-huh. My brother would watch that like crazy.
I would watch it if it was on, but I wouldn't watch it religiously.
I never got into it.
Never. I would watch Dragon Ball.
I never got into that either. I feel like because my brother tried getting me into it, and every episode it was like, all right,
yeah. You see them
next time, Dragon Ball Z.
They do that. They're playing these long.
Next time, and I was like, bro, this thing.
And on the last episode, and previously on Dragon Ball Z, and then you see them in the sky flying around, and they're like. They're talking for like 20 minutes. Yeah. I'm like, what did they do? They're just talking? They're not fighting? Wow, this is very very, very passive.
They're trying to argue their differences.
Yeah, and then there's no fighting. There's nothing. They're flying around. One of them goes away. Then one of them comes back. Then they start fighting, and they fight for like 2 seconds. And then like a mountain gets a mountain blows up.
They throw each other into
the mountain. And I'm like, what the heck?
I tried getting into it. I remember my brother showed me Trunks, and I was like, man, Trunks is such a cool character.
I wasn't.
And I tried. I couldn't get into it.
I was very into the original series, Dragon Ball. But then when he got older and it was Dragon Ball Z, I wasn't crazy about that. I would watch it, but I wasn't. It was too confusing. Maybe because when they aired it on TV, they wouldn't air it at times in chronological order. So I wouldn't know how this character came about. Maybe it was just me catching it in the wrong time.
Oh, I don't. I
don't know because it was like kind of like you have to follow it.
Yeah, I wouldn't really know because I jumped into it, and again, this was my brother trying
to get you into it.
Yeah, get me into it. Really late, and all the characters I guess were there already. But I remember seeing at one point Vegeta as a villain. Mm-hmm. Then. Try getting into it again, maybe months later, maybe a year later, I don't remember. All of a sudden he's good or married to the girl Bulma.
Right, yeah. See, that's the thing that confused me.
like all of that's I don't know, but even that, like my whole thing was that really was what turned me away. Was just like,
Yeah.
I'm like, get to it already, man.
What's
like,
the point of this?
Yeah, they wouldn't just jump in.
I wasn't crazy into that. I would just the whole anime boom in that era in the 90s for me was mostly films. Like the typical ones like Ghost in the Shell, Akira, Ninja Scroll, Vampire Hunter D, Wicked City.
So like mid to late 90s.
Yeah. I would watch all of those. This is back, when it's VHS only. I would borrow. That's when it was. Well, this is before the internet was the internet. The internet was just like AOL. That's it. You couldn't watch videos. There was nothing.
No, and you couldn't have a phone call.
I couldn't. No,
you couldn't get a phone call while you were on the internet. It would knock you out.
It would go. I'm bad sound effect.
Yeah.
So this is when we would have to borrow like VHS tapes from anime. Yeah. So he's like, "Oh, I got this one." And my in school, he would take it to school. I would take it home, watch it. I'm like, man, I would watch it like 2 or 3 times because I knew I had to return it. So I'm like, okay, here I saw it. And then at one point, he's like, "Oh, I'll make you a copy." And I'm like, "Oh, really?" And he's like, "Is that okay? Do I have to pay you?" He's like, "No, I can't sell it to you because that's considered me, illegal. But if I just give it to you and you borrow it, I don't." Okay, he would make a copy and give it to me, and I would watch it, and so that's how it was back in those days. There was no internet.
No, there was nothing. There was no YouTube. There was no streaming service where you could just find anything.
Yeah.
Man,
those are fun times.
They were, man. I'm not. Speaking of nostalgia,
what?
I was listening to your podcast. The other day.
Perfect segue.
Yeah, squeak right in.
You mean the recent one?
Yeah, the one about the Super Nintendo Classic.
Got it.
And I was listening to you and Javier talking about it.
Yeah.
And my whole thing, because I get where Javier's coming from. Like, yeah, there are, I guess, alternate ways of getting this product.
Wait, let's go before his view. His view started off saying that they're just a toy. They're just that toy company mentality that they just create a little bit and they want the demand to be high,
right?
And they know that not everybody's going to be able to find it,
right? And I get that that's what they're doing.
That's their pattern.
I just think it's wrong.
It is.
I think it's fucked up
because we're not in 1919 when they opened up or started making those toys. We're in 2017,
right?
Where I was trying to, and I think I made that point in the episode that I told him. Yeah, but okay, the Switch. Let's go for the Switch. The Switch has been out 6 months, I think. You still cannot find it in stores. In most cases, I actually saw one at the Walmart somewhere. One copy, one console on the shelf. I just saw it there. I'm like, wow, this is the last one.
Yeah.
Until whenever, who the hell knows when they get another one?
Probably.
Right. So I told him, within the same lifespan, when the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One came out, in those first 6 months of their release, you saw them on the shelves.
Yeah.
To this day,
GameStop, everywhere.
To this day, Sony is number 1 in sales. They have 60 million sold. Xbox has 40.
Yeah.
And the Switch has, they said the last numbers revealed was like 7 or 8, which is good.
It's great for them,
but they're not on the shelves.
And that's the problem. I think they could make more.
They can, because Sony did it. They had them on the shelves for 6 months after release.
It goes back to the whole...
But they're not making them on purpose, I think.
Even the NES Mini, like they could have made a shit ton of money.
No, they only... What is it? They sold only 2.7. That's it in the world.
That's it.
And they stopped.
And everybody wanted one. Then you have scalpers who are getting rich off
2 or
of
3
Nintendo's
times
products.
on eBay, which is what I told him.
Yeah, so it's fucking ridiculous, man. And as far as the whole emulator versus
go on then.
No, just to touch on that was I get where he's coming from. Like, I get, because I guess that's his personality.
It's easy for him, or that he finds it easy.
Right. For him, it's just about getting the content. It's kind of like my brother. My brother is the same way, and actually, my brother's name is Javier.
Oh, wow, they have the same name.
But my brother's the same exact way, where he just wants the content. He doesn't care the packaging. He doesn't care about what kind of memories it brings back to. Even though I'm sure he does to a certain extent, but not enough to purchase.
Is your
something.
brother tech savvy? Would you say?
Very, very.
Okay, so I don't think I made that point, but I'll make it here. When I was talking to him, not everybody's tech savvy. Not everybody can build an emulator or download one. Oh, but I'm sure he's gonna say, or somebody's gonna say, but there's YouTube videos. Not everybody knows that there's YouTube videos about it, and even if they follow it, they don't have the patience. Mm-hmm. They don't have, because I've tried to get people that I know that are not tech savvy, tell them to do a YouTube video. They're like, no, you know what? Fuck that. I'd rather pay you, Robert.
Yes.
And you do it because you know. They don't want to do that. And that's the point that I'm making now if I didn't make it then.
Right. And I think even most people are like that. Because I work with a ton of people who don't know shit about gaming, who are not into games, and they were dying to get a Super Nintendo Classic, and they weren't able to.
Their hopes are shot to shit.
Shot to shit. Because unless you're going to camp out at the fucking store overnight, I mean, it's ridiculous. And I was lucky enough that I got one, but that's because I hounded the shit out of GameStop.
Wait, so the day of the pre-order,
you
mentioned it to me over text, but it wasn't. We didn't get to a long conversation. How did that come about? You were just heard about it?
Well, it goes back to when they first announced it.
Right, months ago.
I've gotten to a point, and I noticed this too with just how everything is now. Nobody goes to stores. Everybody does their shopping online, which is something that I don't think Nintendo wants to understand or even cares about.
Exactly.
But going back to when it was first announced, I called GameStop, and immediately, like right after I heard they were coming out with it, I asked them, "Hey, are you doing pre-orders?" They told me no, but they can put my name on a list.
So this is like in July, I think. That's when they announced it.
This was probably
July. End of July.
Yeah.
Because that's when that issue with the Walmart pre-orders happened in July. Okay.
Yeah. So end of July, I called them up. They told me they're going to put my name on a list. I gave them my phone number. Flash forward to August 22nd.
Right.
That's
last week. Thing. About.
That's when they did the pre-order stuff.
Right.
I wake up in the morning and I'm getting ready because I'm gonna work from home that day.
Got it.
So I turn on YouTube and I see a video of or Nintendo, because I have YouTube.
You follow their channel. Yeah, got it.
They put up a commercial of the Super Nintendo Classic. So the minute I saw that, I was like, oh shit, they must have pre-orders.
That's right.
I go to Best Buy, I see it there, pre-order, I hit it, it's in my cart. I try to set up shipping for it. It wouldn't let me. So I keep trying. I'm like, okay, what the hell do I have to do here?
Overload.
I'm like trying to pick it up at store, nothing. No. I hit refresh, gone. Out of my cart. So automatically I was like, fuck, are you shitting me?
Yeah.
Then I go to Amazon. I find out Amazon did something even trickier because they had one product page that I had been following.
Yes.
Or I had been watching.
Me too.
That's not where they did the fucking pre-orders.
I hate that. They do that all the time.
So they created some other page that didn't even have a picture. It seemed fake. It didn't even seem like it was real.
And that was the one.
And that was where they were doing their pre-orders. So I find that I look at the comment section of that, and I see people talking about, oh, I was able to get 4, I was able to get 5, I was able to get multiple.
Right.
And I'm like, what the fuck is this? So then Amazon apparently didn't put a cap on how many you can purchase.
Oh, jeez.
So I'm already kind of like frustrated because this was a system that this was my system. Like,
right, the Super Nintendo.
Yeah, the Nintendo was my first system and I loved it, but the Super Nintendo is where I have my moment.
Right, because we were older,
right?
So we got to appreciate it
and we could remember more.
Yeah.
So I was already frustrated. I ended up at 10 in the morning. GameStop opens. I call them. This is all while I'm working, by the way.
From home.
Yeah,
got it.
So I call them. And the guy's like, nope, no pre-orders, haven't heard anything.
Wow.
I'm like, really? Because Best Buy apparently had a thing where they sold in like 20 minutes. Amazon had the same thing. Nope, haven't heard it, but you can keep calling. And I guess that was his way of
saying, I'm busy, motherfucker, get off the phone.
Probably.
Okay, yeah, in a way.
Probably.
Yeah.
So then I tell him I'm going to call every hour just to make sure. So I call an hour later. He's like, nope, nothing. He was being nice about it. And I think he was trying to like hint at.
To hint that there's nothing.
Yeah, because I guess they couldn't say anything, but he was trying to hint that there was going to be something.
Oh, so he was saying keep calling.
Right. He goes,
Got
but
it.
you can't keep calling, and keep in mind, we're also going to call you. I was like, all right, cool.
Got it.
So then another hour later passes. I call them, nothing. I go online and I find out that there was apparently
On their page.
No.
Oh, something else.
No. I go on to
some.
It was Google.
Some tech.
I basically
Googled
Googled Super Nintendo Classic pre-orders.
Some tech thing. Yeah.
And another website is talking about how apparently GameStop employees were informing people that they received an email saying we have a surprise for later today. And their assumption to that was that's the pre-order.
The pre-order.
So I call again. He tells me nothing. Meanwhile, I'm refreshing all these pages to see if I can snag one. I go to GameStop, and all of a sudden the website's crashed.
Their page crashed.
Yeah, so I'm like, shit, it crashed. Sure enough, I get a phone call from them, and they're like, "Hey, pre-orders in store. Come over." So immediately, I locked my computer screen, put myself on my lunch because I had avoided taking lunch that day just because
you wanted to drive there.
I was waiting for that moment, and I get there and I was able to get one. So that's how I got it. And the guy told me he's like immediately when they went on.
Did he recognize you?
Yeah. Because I know who it was. I've gone in there.
You've gone there. Okay.
But he told the employee, "Hey, call this guy because he's been calling all morning for this." And sure enough, I got it. It sounds like I was being a pain in the ass, and at this point I don't care because it was. Like,
look, GameStop knows their audience. They know that people like you are going to be insistent on a product, especially if they're making it difficult to get it online.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, anything else, I'm not going to care about
it's their business.
Right. I'm not going to care about the next release of Madden 2018 and keep calling them. Hey,
They have a shit ton of that.
Right. But this is something that's like
limited.
It's like freaking lost treasure.
Yeah.
Nobody can find it. So that's how I lucked out and was able to get one. A friend of mine actually.
So wait, so when you got it, you put the entire payment down? That's how you reserve it? Okay.
Well, no, you can put $25 down and that's it.
Oh, okay.
Me being fucking
panicky, just to make sure that you paid it, and you can't say, "Hey, I didn't pay for it." Got the receipt.
I started. I'm like, "Here's the $25." As soon as I'm walking out, I was like, "You know what?" I turned around and I was like, "Hey, let me just pay it off in full."
Yeah.
So I paid it off completely. It's $80.
Got it.
Whatever. So as of right now, I have it. I'm hearing freaking horror stories. Best Buy canceled a bunch of pre-orders because
I heard that too.
They oversold.
Yeah.
But and this was the crazy thing. I'm like I kept watching YouTube's video on this because it did. Even though I got one, I was pissed because it's not the way you handle this shit. Like it shouldn't be this difficult to get a fucking
system.
It's basically like it seems I'm not techie.
Right.
I've spoken to my brother who is. It's such an easy thing to build.
It is.
It's not that difficult.
And Nintendo's making a killing because I think somebody said that if they got specs correctly based on their own box build emulator, because that's basically what it is. It's just an emulator.
Exactly.
With that has put and a nice cover and probably 3D printed in their factory to look like an SNES
and to feel like an SNES
and to feel like so. People are saying that probably cost Nintendo because they probably get good deals from other manufacturers to build that anywhere between $40 to $45 maybe to build it. So they're netting $35 of profit because they're selling it for $80.
Yeah, it's easy. It
doesn't cost a lot of money.
But I was listening to or watching another video where the guy was talking about how I forget what it was now. Basically, it's almost as if, and it's a good theory. I can't say for sure that it's real, but it's basically Nintendo going, "Hey, you love those old games,
right? You
love that nostalgia that you felt when you were a kid. Guess what? We're coming out with a system here. Yeah. Enjoy. Oh, it's sold out, and you want to play Mario and you want to play Zelda? Don't worry about it. We have the Nintendo Switch. You can play the brand new Mario. You can play the brand new Zelda, and if you still want to play those games." Maybe, kind of, sort of, there might be a virtual console that's going to have those games anyway, so you'll be able to play them on the go. So don't worry about missing out. But it's kind of like their way of getting support for the Switch.
Of course it is.
And that's it.
Yeah.
It is.
Of course it is,
so
and it's
shady,
frustrating.
Very frustrating.
Because they're like, okay, so you grew up playing this. You're now in your 30s. Because most people that play that are probably our age.
Mm-hmm. Or at least approaching your 30s.
Already approaching. So they're on our age demographics, and some of them have kids, and they're like, wow, look, so and so, little Johnny, little Susie, typical
little Robert.
Here, look, I used to play this when I was your age.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to get one. Oh, you know what? I can't because Nintendo doesn't make enough.
I can't share this with you.
I can't share this experience that I every morning I would wake up on the weekend when my mom and dad say, "Yeah, you can play today." It's because it's the weekend.
Yeah.
I can't do that with you. Can't pass that down. Look at these. Yeah, these are not the same graphics as the Switch, which we also can't get, by the way, because they're not making enough. So little Johnny, little Susie, I'm sorry, you can't get the Switch. You can't get the SNES Classic. But here's a PlayStation 4, which has some good games, but most of them are not Mario or Zelda. They're not Mario and Zelda.
Yeah, and the better games are probably a little too
advanced,
risky for their
advanced.
Age.
Yeah, they gotta go to indie games, and even there, that's not the same as Mario and
it's not, man.
Metroid.
It really does feel like Nintendo doesn't care, and that's what pisses. I'm a huge Nintendo fan.
Yeah,
but even
so
as
am
a
I.
Nintendo fan, it just seems like they. Yeah, I know. I can see you're wearing
a Zelda shirt
with your Zelda tattoo.
With the Zelda tattoo and
but
Zelda underwear. I won't show you that.
Yeah. Zelda thong.
Yeah, no. Well, yeah. Don't tell anybody.
Link thong.
Yeah, that one.
But it's just. It seems like they don't care. They seemingly don't care because they experienced this already with the NES Mini, and you could argue, okay, that was a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
And they came out, acknowledged it, and said they were going to make more.
But they're repeating the same thing.
But they're doing the same shit again. Now, mind you, come actual release date, which is September 29, maybe it'll be different. Maybe they're going to have the stores flooded with fucking SNES Classics. I highly doubt it.
I doubt it. Their history doesn't show that.
Right. Yeah. But even then, like, this whole pre-order process shouldn't have been so difficult. At the end of the day, you announce the system, allow pre-orders. Mm-hmm. That's gonna tell you how much you need to fucking make.
Exactly. That's how everybody does it.
Yeah, I don't understand the concept. How that
makes sense.
Yeah,
allowing the pre-order a month before the release date.
Yes. When
Sony and Microsoft do it 6 months before, a year before.
Exactly.
Hey, it's coming. It's coming.
Do the announcement earlier. Start taking pre-orders, and then you find out how many systems you're gonna have to make, and then that way you deter all these fucking scalpers from selling them for fucking $500 on eBay.
Right, and going back to Sony and Microsoft, Sony specifically, because I didn't really buy an Xbox One, but for the PlayStation 4 release, Sony followed that with the pre-order sales. They knew how much to make, how many they needed to ship. So with that, they avoided that high scalping. In the PS3 era, 10 years ago with the PS3 launch, they were like selling like $1,000, $2,000 because there was nowhere to find them. You couldn't find a PS3 for like months. I think it was like 3 months the most because they started selling it. They usually in November, so by February after Valentine's Day of that site, that's when I started seeing them in store shelves, the PS3, but. No, with the PS4, I remember like within a month I saw them in the shelves. I'm like, wow, they made a lot. Yeah. Or I was thinking, well, is it not selling well? Because I see them in the shelves.
But it was.
Yeah. Because they just made enough. They made enough. Yeah. They manufactured it. They were smart about it. And they kept making and making and making. Maybe they were having their employees work overtime. Hey, we'll pay you overtime if you make more PS4s or whatever, But Nintendo doesn't want to pay their employees overtime to manufacture.
I guess they don't want to pay the overtime.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe they don't want to take away the focus from the Switch, but even then it's like
it wouldn't matter.
This can only serve to help
or
to get consumers excited about your product.
Yeah.
Oh shit, I played the old Zelda, let me get the Switch and play the new one.
Or vice versa. I played the new one, let's go back in time and get the old one.
Right.
No, that's not happening.
But they're not doing that shit.
Or even Star Fox 2, which most people are just buying it to play Star Fox 2, which was never released.
Which
I don't really give a shit about it. I'm a Star Fox fan, but I'm not crazy about it.
Everything else is
more excited
than Star Fox and Star Fox 2. Secret of Mana,
everything. Street Fighter, I think, is releasing.
Street Fighter 2
that.
Turbo,
Metroid, Super
Super
Metroid.
Metroid.
Yeah. Link to the Past.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that's
the. Even though I did play the first Link, like you mentioned earlier, that you're younger, so you can't really appreciate it. You can't really appreciate
Zelda,
it.
Yeah.
The Link to the Past is the Zelda that I was like, wow, this is an amazing game.
That's the one that got me. To up until Breath of the Wild came out, it was my favorite.
Your favorite one,
Zelda, just because I had the most
memory. Yeah.
Well,
nostalgic.
not even the most memories of it, because obviously the games that came out later, Ocarina of Time,
yeah, those were good.
Wind
Great.
Waker, those games are fantastic, and I remember them. But I still didn't like. It was still like, this is the game. Even though the first Zelda, I was, man. When Zelda first came out, I was a freaking like nut for that. My dad still tells me.
You're talking about the Link to the Past or the first one?
No, the first Zelda.
Okay.
I remember the first one I remember playing was actually Zelda 2.
Oh, Link's Awakening.
No.
Is it Link's Awakening?
No, it's
Adventure. The Adventure of Link.
Adventure of Link. That's what it was.
That was a shitty game, though.
I loved it as a kid.
I didn't like it.
And funny enough, I only recently beat it, maybe like 2 or 3 years ago. Was the first time I finally beat that game, because it was difficult.
Yeah.
But I remember just loving the game, and then because of that, I played Zelda 1. And I used to watch the fucking Super Mario Brothers show. I don't know if you remember.
Yeah, I remember. But they had that guy in the intro, like that real actor,
Captain Lou Albano, the wrestler.
Yeah, the wrestler. He would come up with his terrible Italian accent.
And so yeah, I remember being just a huge Zelda fan. I would get like sticker books, anything that would come out with Zelda adventure books.
Mm-hmm.
Those little like golden. What were they called? Golden. Books or something like that. It was some sort of company that used to make books for kids.
Yeah, I think so. I just don't remember the name right now.
I used to get into that. I used to get those little, I don't know if you remember those plastic kind of statues, but they weren't like statues. They had like a little card in the back that could tell you your high score on a certain game.
They had that?
Yeah, I'll show you later on the phone, but like I used to collect all that stuff.
Yeah.
So Zelda's always been like
up there for you.
The highest, and then when Breath of the Wild came out, that overtook Link to the Past.
Yeah. By the way, I haven't finished Breath of the Wild.
God damn it!
I know I've been busy.
Shit,
it's hard. I haven't turned on my Switch in 2 months.
Damn, really?
Yeah.
I love the system, man.
I love it.
I wish there were more games,
but yeah, I mean more in your face.
Right.
Their third-party support is still lacking.
I did play, actually yesterday I beat Mario plus Rabbids.
Oh, you got that one. Yeah. Was it worth it?
It was good. Here's the thing. I think $60 is way too much.
Way too much for that game.
Yeah. I think it's a huge game. I was looking at my, because I remember when we first got the Switch, it wouldn't tell you how many hours you played a game until a certain point. Maybe after a week or so.
Really? Even till this day?
Yeah, till this day it still does it. So I looked. So I downloaded the parental controls just so I can see how long I've played a certain game.
There's an app?
Yeah, and
what's the app called?
Nintendo parental controls, I think.
And then it tells you how long you're playing.
Yeah, like it'll tell you how long you played certain games.
Oh, sweet! I'm gonna have to get into that.
This one clocked in at like, I think it was 15 to 18 hours. The only reason I say 15 to 18 is because. Maybe an hour was playing Mario Kart.
Got it.
Just because I popped in Mario Kart for a little bit.
Oh, okay.
But and I played Sonic Mania. But maybe for the past...
Oh, so the parental control doesn't tell you what game you're playing. It tells you how long it's on and playing.
Yeah.
It can be any game.
Right. Well, it'll tell you the games that you played that day.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So
got it.
It'll tell you the games that you played that day, and it'll give you kind of a time as to how much you played it. So that's kind of what I use just to.
So it's like an estimate in a way. It's not specific, detailed.
Right. So like, look at all these days no played. Look.
So what's the recent one? Like today or yesterday or something recent? That right there.
7.5
hours.
Or 7.
And they're showing you the 2 games that you played within those 7.5 hours.
Right. And Mario
so
Kart
that's not that bad. You can gauge it. Yeah.
But
see, Mario Kart, up until 2 months ago, I was still playing that game almost daily. That's a game so much fun. I love playing it online.
It's still fun.
With people like from like Japan and Europe, and we're all playing and we're all having fun. Yeah. It's a fun game.
Zelda's another one that I'll pop in every now and then and just
See, for me, Zelda, I need to dedicate more than 2 hours. And lately, I've been so busy with work and this fucking wedding planning and everything, which is great. I'm happy to be married.
Right, of course.
But it's just it's just time consuming.
It is. No, I got you. I mean, it's good. It's even the 2 hours. I get what you mean, because there are certain games that I don't like to put on unless I'm gonna actually like really dive deep into it. Zelda is one of those, but I think the way they made this Zelda is I can literally just turn it on for 30 minutes and go like kill some bokoblins or ride a horse.
You're talking about because you finished it?
Because I finished it, yeah.
But
yeah.
see, that's the thing.
Yeah, it is different.
I think for me was also catching me, stopping me from playing, I should say.
Just finish the fucking game.
It's a little overwhelming.
Yeah.
Because everything is open
it's a lot.
From the get-go.
You can go anywhere.
I mean, I can do a game like GTA that's pretty much open, but there's certain sections that are closed off until you complete a mission. Then Grand Theft Auto opens the rest of the world to you. Yeah, with Legend of Zelda is completely different. So it is a little overwhelming.
It's funny because I love that about the game.
Yeah.
Even though I hate open world games, I'm not a big fan of GTA. Big fan? At all.
Love those. I love these big open world games.
Yeah, I don't know. To me.
So what did you think of, besides what he was trying to say in the episode and what I was trying to say? That do you think you understand both viewpoints?
Well,
his and mine.
To an extent, because I understand yours more. I understand his viewpoint. I just happen to not agree with it. Like I do, right. I do think that Nintendo is fucking their audience over.
It is.
I think they're basically using this to generate interest in another system, and that's fine. But you got to understand, you're taking people's, and this is corny and I guess sappy or whatever, but you're taking people's memories, people's childhood, and you're using that to basically create this fervor over
and now with the internet, now they have hate towards them.
Right, exactly.
Easily hate.
You're like, I guess the old adage, what is it? Any publicity is good publicity.
Right.
So everybody's talking about Nintendo, at least.
They're talking about them, but there's hate there.
There's a lot of hate. Because
with the internet age and social media, hate comes so quickly.
Yeah.
Whether it's politics or whatever. In this case, it's focused on Nintendo. There's a lot of hate for Nintendo, as you saw on the internet.
Yeah. Now, as far as the pre-order stuff, I feel like Nintendo has a lot to do with it. But I got to be honest, I'm also extremely pissed off with Amazon, with Best Buy.
Right.
You're putting your pre-orders up at like 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning when only people who are extremely sick because they had to wake up. I saw one guy put a post, thank God I had diarrhea, got my Super Nintendo Classic pre-order. I mean, like, either you're really sick or you just don't have a life or don't have a job or anything you have to go to. Yeah. No offense to anybody out there who doesn't have a job, because it is what it is, but like you're all the other people who have to work in the morning, who have to go to school, college, whatever it is, who really wanted this, unfortunately, weren't able to get it or Amazon. And then GameStop and ThinkGeek, which ThinkGeek is owned by GameStop, they want to go and release bundles of useless shit that they probably sell in their stores for like $20 at a discount, but they're gonna mark up your SNES Classic, add that
plus,
and it's gonna cost you like $300. So they're just as bad as scalpers too. So it's like all of these companies, I think, are culpable, but Nintendo is the one that I feel should have better control over this.
Yeah, I agree, especially since they've been in it for such a long time.
Yep.
Longer than Sony, longer than Microsoft. And they just don't care. They're like, nope, we're just going to do it our way.
Yep.
And that's it. It is what it is. We're going to release this. And that's it. Look, with the console wars in the 90s, Sega Genesis versus Super Nintendo, the same thing. They're like, we're gonna release Super Nintendo in the fall. Even though Sega Genesis has been out for 18 months. They've had an 18-month head start.
Yeah.
Where we're going to release it. So Sega was like, oh, really? We're going to lower our price.
Yeah,
$150. It was $150. $150 and a free game, Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah.
Super Nintendo came out that month later, $199. Yeah, we're gonna put include a
Super
free game,
Mario
Super
World.
Mario World, free
Yeah.
game. Guess what? Outsold that Christmas season. Sega
Sega.
Genesis. Outsold them. First and
Nintendo
only
won.
time. Yeah,
Yeah, Nintendo still won the.
they
console
still
wars.
won at the end,
Yeah.
but they did outsold that first season, and Sega kicked their ass
Yeah, man.
because Sega was making enough,
Right,
and they
right.
were on the shelves,
Yeah.
and they outsold more. And Nintendo didn't give a shit. They're like, nope,
They
we're gonna.
don't. They
don't.
still operated like Javier was
27
saying.
years later, they still operate the same way.
Like Javier was saying,
Yeah.
they're operating as a
Toy company.
As a toy company.
Yeah.
Like they started. I was listening to an audiobook on. It's called Super Mario: How
Okay.
Nintendo Conquered America, or something like that.
Right.
Maybe I'm mixing two books, but anyway. They started off as a card company in the 1800s.
1800s, yeah.
As a playing card company, and then they started getting into toys.
Mm-hmm.
Then small electronics. Then obviously arcades with Donkey Kong.
Right, in the 70s, 80s.
And then they finally jumped into the NES. But even that, from what I understand, because there was that huge
Crash in the 80s.
Video game crash.
Yeah, Atari messed up 83.
Right. Nintendo was marketing their NES with Rob, R-O-B.
The robot.
Yeah,
I remember
Rob the
that.
robot,
Yeah.
as basically
A toy. A toy.
Like, this is just a toy.
It's just, yeah.
Just so that way they don't get the negative press.
Yeah.
And I think they've stayed with that mindset. It's just crazy.
A toy. Here it is as a toy.
Right. Video games have evolved since then.
They're not
Like,
toys.
No. And as much as I love Nintendo, I love their games, I love their characters. It's time to upgrade, man. They're always behind PS4 and
in hardware,
and
in
Xbox
power.
One. Yeah. Always behind.
They're like, we don't need the power. No, you kind of do.
You're right.
Because you can't have GTA 5 on your system because you don't have the power to handle GTA 5.
And did you hear their most recent issue?
What is it?
That they're having now?
No.
So they announced NBA 2K18.
Okay, yes.
is a
I didn't
great
know it was
series.
announced. I didn't know it was announced.
Awesome
Yeah, I
series.
like that series. Even though I'm
They-
not at sports, but I played it.
They
like
announced that the features
Mhm.
are going to be exactly the same as what's on PS4. That's great news.
Great.
We know it's not going to look like it does on PS4
It won't.
at all.
At all.
But that's fine. At the
Yeah.
very least, you have all the features. Awesome. You can't buy that game. Well, I'm sorry. You can buy that game. You can't play that game unless you have an additional memory card.
What do you mean an
You need
additional?
an SD card. Because the storage is not going to allow.
Oh, the internal.
Remember,
The
yeah.
internal. Got
Nintendo
it.
Switch is only 32
Yeah.
gigabytes.
Yeah. So, okay, so you need an extra card. Well, you need a card if you don't have one. I have one already.
Right. If you don't have
So
one.
for me, it would be okay.
Yeah, for you, as long as you have it, you're fine.
Yeah.
I happen to not have one. So
Oh,
now-
you never?
I never got one. So now
Oh,
I'm thinking
dude.
about it. I'm like, man, all these
Go to
other
Amazon,
games-
$15.
Yeah, that's what I'm probably.
I got
gonna
a
have to do.
64 gigabyte one. I think for like $23, $24.
But I feel like they're gonna. I don't know. I'm starting to get the impression that they're gonna have more games come out this way. Maybe not the Nintendo games, because even Breath of the Wild,
I doubt it.
I don't
Yeah.
remember what the file size was on that. But it
Oh,
was
that's
pretty
like 6
small.
gigs
6
on the
gigabytes,
internal
man,
memory.
and that thing
Yeah,
is huge.
it's huge. Yeah,
So,
because most of it's running off the card still, so that's a good thing. You still,
Right.
yeah.
that's yeah. I guess I don't know if I'm confused because I heard that NBA 2K18, at least for the first initial release of it, is not going to come physical. It's just going to be
Digital. That's probably why you need that big card because
But
it's digital.
But I'm hearing they are going to come out with a physical version later, and that you still need the card to play it. That you could only access certain parts of the game
Got it.
without the card.
Yeah. So what you're saying is making sense now. So if they're releasing their version of a port of the PS4, Xbox One version of that game, it's obviously these are Blu-rays on the PS4 and Xbox One.
Yeah, this is a little card.
Right, little card. So it seems to me that the only way to play, like you said, is downloading it. So you have to download it to the memory, and you need an extra card because the internal is not enough.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
So-
That's.
But I see that being a problem because what I think about with that is if your third-party games are going to operate that way, I mean, you might have an issue again with the Wii U where
Right.
third-party developers are just not going to bother.
They're not gonna care.
Yeah, they're not going to want to work with you.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it is what it is. I feel like if they would have just upped their graphics, I get they want to do things differently, and I love the fact that they do things differently sometimes. But I think the market is CDs, man, or Blu-rays.
Or
not
Blu-rays,
CDs.
or even digital. But the thing is that the hardware, for example, Doom, the recent Doom that came out last year, fun game. Did you play
PS4
it?
or Xbox? No, I haven't.
Yeah,
played.
PS4. It's on everything, but I played it on PS4.
Okay.
So it's a really fun game. I thought it was gonna be shit, but it reminded me of Doom when it came out in the early '90s. That's a very violent game.
Yeah.
That's something that I don't know if it's Nintendo. I don't think Nintendo says, "Oh, we welcome any developer to make a game, if even no matter how violent." But at the same time, the developer that made Doom is probably thinking, "Yeah, we're not gonna make it on the Switch. We're not gonna port it. It might not fit. We don't want you to get download a digital version. They're just not gonna invest the time because that costs them money.
What's the point?
And when there's not enough systems in the world to recoup that money, why are they gonna spend money to make it and port it? They're not gonna do it.
Exactly.
So that's where Nintendo is kind of fucked in a way, because the developers are thinking, no, we're not going to invest money unless Nintendo gives them money, which if they're smart enough, they could. Yeah. They could say, look, we'll pay you. We'll pay a team to port it, just guide them. But Nintendo doesn't want to do that. At least they haven't shown anything about doing that. I mean, and that's going to keep people from buying it, because a lot of people want to play Doom. A lot of people want to play this. Why? They can play it on the PlayStation. They can play it on the Xbox. They can play it on the PC. So they got 3 options. But they want to play it portably, which people online are like, oh, it would be so great if I could just take it portably. I'm in the bus. I have to go to work, and I have to take an Uber or a bus ride. I'm in whatever city that has great public transportation. Miami is not one of them. Nope. So they want to play it portably. They can't. Nope. Because the developers are not making it. And Nintendo's not supporting them.
No, and I feel like it's going to continue to be a problem. Yeah. When Skyrim comes out, I'm sure that's going to need an extra memory card or 2.
Right. But then again, Skyrim is a 6-year-old game. Yeah. That millions have played countless times.
But what's going to people that want to play it on
portable?
Yeah, portable.
Right. Or that's only appeal more to people that have never played it. Probably. But someone like me who owns it, that's a game also that I can't just play for like 10 minutes. You gotta invest
in it,
like hours.
Yeah, when you're on the go. I mean, I still I haven't really used my Switch much on the go at all. It's awesome. I think
we can't because we drive. If you're driving, you can't. Right. We can't play and drive.
I have to drive.
Yeah, you can't play.
But even if I'm not driving, like if I'm going to my brother's house, I don't really take it over there.
Or you're going to work, and you actually go to your office, and then you're like, my lunch break. I don't want to play. I want to eat my food.
Yeah, I did that one time when I first got it.
I did that once. That's it. I never took it back. Never. Yeah.
So I'm always playing docked anyway.
Yeah.
I mean,
I sometimes play because my fiance, she wants to watch TV. So this is back when I was playing it. I would play it portably, and she would watch the TV. Right. And here she comes. You want to say something about that? Me playing it portably? No. Okay. So that's about the only time I ever really played it portably. Oh, and then when I took it to New York, when I went to New York, I in the plane, I think I played it for like a few. And when I got to New York, I didn't even play it.
It's funny because I'm actually taking it, since I'm going on vacation on the 16th to Disney. I'm taking it over there just for the novelty of it, just because I can. But I feel like I'm not.
You're not gonna play it.
No.
Yeah, you're gonna be waiting in line. Let me take out my Switch.
Not even that, because we are gonna have. I'm not taking it to the parks.
No, don't. You don't want that shit to fall.
We are gonna have some days where we're not gonna do anything at the parks.
Maybe, or a rainy day.
Going for a week,
right?
So we're going for like 7 days. So there's gonna be
you're gonna need a day to just relax and chill, man.
But even then, I don't feel like I'm really gonna play my Switch.
You're gonna be in the pool or having some beers or whatever.
Doing something different.
Yeah, man. Nintendo, man. Yeah. Not happy, man.
I'm pretty pissed off at them right now.
Did you like the title that I gave the
I love them.
Do you like the title?
I got
Nintendo,
go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
It's funny because I agree. I still love them. It's like I feel like I'm in a bad relationship. It
is
like I'm the abused.
It is
the abused party.
They're abusing us,
and I'm still making excuses for them.
And you still gave them your $80.
Still give them my money, and I'm still looking forward to it. Like that.
Yeah.
That NES Classic.
But the thing is that here's where maybe you let me know what you think. So let's say I was one of the lucky ones to get the pre-order.
Did you try?
No.
Okay.
No. I was at work and I was too busy. I couldn't. I had the page, like you said, Amazon, refreshing it. That didn't work. Yeah. So my point was that, let's say I got it. I got the pre-order. I go pick it up. One of the things I like about video games is that knowing that my friends and family and my friends online have it or able to get it, and we could all talk about it. Oh man, did you see this? Oh man, guess what? I cannot talk about it with anybody because nobody was able to get the pre-order.
I know. The only ones like me.
You can't talk about it with me because I didn't get the pre-order.
No, the only one, my cousin wanted to get one. He couldn't get one. One of my close friends couldn't get one.
Mm-hmm.
Erlen got lucky.
Yeah.
Erlen, like, he wasn't watching. He wasn't doing it. He just fucking got lucky. He happened to be driving to work.
What happened?
Around the time that
it was announced?
No, around the time that the pre-orders
began.
Started happening at GameStop. Physical, like in-store pre-orders. And so he happened to stop by a store because there's a store right by where he works, right before he got in. It happens to be that he has to go to work like around 2 o'clock, a little later than most.
Right.
And he walked into the store and got one. So he was like, "Oh, this was easy." And I'm like, "Dude, it's not.
It's not easy,
man.
It's not easy.
It's really not easy."
Yeah, he got.
People are pissed right now.
He didn't get the NES, right? The one last year, he didn't get that.
No, he didn't get that.
But he got this one. He got
one.
lucky.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm looking forward to the N64 Classic, maybe a GameCube Classic if they ever do that.
Yeah. So with the Virtual Console. Because that's another topic. Oh, eventually it will come out on Virtual Console. Will it eventually? Because I don't think that they're releasing. They have had Virtual Console since what? Since the Wii or the Wii U?
No, the Wii U had a Virtual Console.
Right.
And the 3DS has a Virtual Console.
Right. And why haven't they been released there? Is it because their initial plan to like entice people?
I think so. I don't know. I feel like it's all calculated.
It's all bullshit to me.
Yeah, like I feel like they could just release it. I mean, you had it.
You know how much money they would make on the Virtual Console just for like, let's say they sell it like they sold like these classic games on the Wii and Switch.
Yeah,
$6-7. They make a killing when they release the original Link or the original Link to the Past on the Virtual Console. Let's say let's give them the credit. $10. I'll buy that shit for $10. Well, virtually.
Zelda Link to the Past is $4.99 on the 3DS. Because I did pick it up on the new Nintendo 3DS.
3DS,
it has to be the new. It really does, because if you have just a regular 3DS,
it won't work.
You can't get Super Nintendo games. But the new Nintendo 3DS,
see,
even though it just seems like the fucking easiest,
it's just a patch or something. Yeah.
You could do it on the old one, but they just want you to get that
the
fucking new
one.
Nintendo 3DS.
What's different about this new one?
I don't know.
Is it the same size? The 3DS compared to the original?
I think it's the same size. Well, it's the same size as the XL. If you get the XL version, and I think they do have a regular version that's the same.
Does
size
the screen close and fold, or?
Yeah, same as the other one. The 3D is better.
Oh, it is.
I can tell you that for sure because
the batteries last longer or something.
I don't know about that, but I know the older version of the 3DS. I don't have the new Nintendo 3DS.
My brother, I think,
Nintendo
has a 3DS.
2DS.
I think I've opened it and it's right there. He just never uses it because there's no point. It's under the TV.
Right.
But I think that's the original one.
Well, it was really
not much of a difference that you saw.
But speaking of, because I do have the new Nintendo 2DS. Because I don't care about the 3D. My brother has the new Nintendo 3DS.
So the 2D is a little bit less money because there's no 3D.
Right. I am looking forward to Samus's return, Metroid.
What, the 3DS version?
Yeah, that's coming out on the 15th, I believe, September 15th.
There wasn't a lot of good things said about the last 3DS Metroid game, right?
No, there.
Oh no, there was the Wii version.
No, there was. The Wii version, Other M.
That was shit.
That's the one that got bad reviews. But the Prime series has always gotten great reviews.
Yeah. So now Prime 4 is in the works.
Right. Metroid Fusion, Metroid Zero Mission, which were all on 3DS or on DS. Yeah. Or no, Zero Mission I think was Game Boy Advance.
Is the trilogy of Metroid Prime coming out on the Switch?
I don't know.
We don't know.
Should, but I feel like it would be
at least digitally. They should make it digital and people download it before they play 4.
I feel like they should, but at least part 3 would probably be a little difficult just because it was on the Wii. So you need that motion control.
They can port it.
I feel like they kind of got something.
They got the motion with the Joy-Con.
With the Joy-Con, kind of. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah, they're crazy.
On a happier note, I did buy Uncharted Lost Legacy.
Oh,
Oh man,
I haven't played it yet, but I'm getting
What
it
a
tomorrow.
fucking game.
My fiance got it for me.
What a great game.
She said I've been a good boy, so I deserve
Oh,
a game, and she
you
bought
do
it.
deserve it,
Yeah,
man. You have been a
thank you.
good boy.
Yeah.
What a great fucking game, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
it's
finished
so
it?
enjoyable.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's short.
It's not long like
it's
the other
shorter,
one. Yeah.
but then again, it's also cheaper.
Right, and
They're
I am. Speaking of Uncharted, I'm replaying 4 because whenever a sequel
love
comes out or
4.
something, I like to replay the original or the one before it. So
Right,
I'm playing 4 now. I'm at the part where they just found the island in that storm, and they're about to approach Libertalia. Yeah. Some weird. Yeah. So they just found it, or I just found it as Nathan. So I'm almost at the end. I'm in chapter 6.
You're talking about that boat sequence where the rain's coming.
The rain, and they hit the boat, and you're in the, and then you have to find your brother because your brother's gone.
Yeah,
and then you meet, and you're like this with the Mexican standoff, and your brother's like, I almost blew your head off. Yeah. No, spoiler alert. Sorry, it's a year-old game, so fuck it.
Yeah.
But so Lost Legacy is good.
Lost Legacy is great, man. I really, it's Uncharted.
Yeah.
It's like getting a brand new Uncharted game just
without
shorter.
spoiling it because it's still brand new. Do you think that this is their way of focusing on Uncharted with these characters and continuing the series? Do you think it's going to be continued? Playing that game?
I don't know.
Or does the game have an
spoilers.
ending? Or you
Well,
might...
no. This game does give you the impression that it's going to continue
with them, with the girls.
Yeah, but this story from this
takes
game,
place.
It does have an ending.
Okay.
So it's like this story happens. You do what you got to do. It has an ending to it, but then you get the impression that more things can happen with the two
if
characters.
they choose to continue.
Right. If they choose to, yeah.
Because I don't know, Naughty Dog, they're known for Uncharted. They're known for The Last of Us, and that's it.
Crash Bandicoot.
Well, yeah, they're done with that. They don't.
Yeah.
But that's it, right? Or am I missing a franchise they have? Didn't they used to do Jack and Daxter? But they ended it. That's no more.
But yeah, that's
according to them.
No, I mean I would love to see them do a new
IP.
Yeah. The Uncharted series. Just going back to what you were saying, I don't know if they're gonna continue on with Nate.
It doesn't seem
spoilers.
It's a year old. Come on.
Yeah, but it does seem like he retires at the end of it.
Yeah,
you could. I mean, they fucking brought back Indiana Jones.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. If they brought back Indiana Jones, they can bring back a 50-year-old Nate. Yeah. Or what? Yeah, I'm thinking he must be in his 50s because he was in his late 30s before his daughter was born.
Yeah, and then the
daughter's like a teenager, so he must be in his 50s.
Yeah,
people in their 50s can still kick ass.
Yeah,
come on. Still move.
Look at Indiana Jones.
He was like 60s. And he'll be in his 70s, late 70s, if this 5 comes out.
Yeah.
Which Disney has been hush-hush, but they did announce it last year.
I feel like they should just to do it right.
Yeah, just end it.
Just to end it the right way.
Yeah, hey, it's done.
Because Kingdom of the Crystal Skull was
a piece of shit.
It was terrible. I remember trying to delude myself in the movie theater that I was liking it.
You know what? Like when Erling was here at the podcast, we were all talking about. I think we did talk about Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, and he said that you liked it the first time you saw it. I don't know. I don't think I said anything because it was just you and him talking. But I liked it the first time I saw it.
Yeah.
Then I saw it again on home video. That was the only time I saw it in the cinema. Then I saw it again on home video on Blu-ray. And I was like, "Whoa, this is not as good as that. It doesn't hold up, man."
It was hard to get.
Yeah, it was hard. I would skip some scenes. When the original trilogy, I wouldn't skip anything. I would just watch it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and everything had that plasticky.
It was
sheen, green screen.
Yeah,
thing,
and I think that's the studio's fault, or I don't know if it was Spielberg's fault.
Work with that
like,
series.
It was the whole green screen Avatar. This was before Avatar, but it was that era. Of like Sin City had that green screen.
Yeah.
Sky Captain and the Edge of Tomorrow. Sky Captain and whatever.
The World of Tomorrow.
The World of Tomorrow had that green screen. A bunch of movies were doing green screen, like 90%.
Yeah.
And this felt like that.
It did. It doesn't make sense for that series. Like it's supposed to be
real locations,
dirty,
or in a studio.
Like you're going into these different places. You're trying to dig up these artifacts and relics. So when you add that little and it's also set in this one was set in the 50s.
Mm-hmm.
In the 50s. it's set in the past. Like it shouldn't be so shiny and,
it shouldn't.
plasticky and new. It doesn't. I don't think it holds up well at all.
No, I don't watch it. Whenever I decide to do when I've done Indiana Jones marathon, I leave that one
Just
out.
the first
the first 3. That's it. It's done.
You know, I might do that. Actually, I haven't done that in a while. I have the Blu-rays. I just haven't.
You know what I've been thinking about doing? That I want to get more people to do it. I don't want me to put you on the spot, but you don't have to give me an answer now. But I want to get people to come over, and we're doing a podcast while we're watching a movie.
Oh, I'm down for that.
Yeah,
yeah,
like commentating.
Commentary?
Yeah,
I'm down for that.
Yeah.
Especially those
movie
movies.
There, any movie. I don't give a fuck what it is. I mean, watching it, we're just talking shit. We could be talking about the movie,
Back to the
other
Future,
topics,
Star
and then go
Wars,
back and forth.
E.T.,
Yeah, whatever.
Indiana Jones.
We could say, "Oh man, remember this scene? Yeah, I remember that." You know, that would be fun. And I know, I've heard other podcasts do that.
Marvel movies.
Some of them, I don't know. I was listening to one and they just completely paused the movie and never finished it. They just
because it was so bad, right?
No, because it was so bad. They just got off topic. But I also want to do. I also would like to do one of a movie we all can agree that it was watchable and good for us. And I want to do a podcast on a movie that's shit or is known to be shit that we've never seen and we're watching it for the first time and we can talk about it and say, well, it's not that bad or maybe it is. And
I'm down for that.
Yeah, I have to plan it out. I have to see what we'll have to get our schedules aligned. And
the first movie that popped into my head now that's shit that I keep hearing is shit, but I've never seen it, and it's only because when you said Sky Captain and the World of Tomorrow for a second, I thought of this movie, The Spirit.
Wait. That's the one with Sammy Jackson?
Yeah.
Oh,
I heard that was shit.
I'm gonna tell you right now. I saw that at the cinema opening weekend because
How bad was
I
it?
liked Sin City.
Yeah.
The first one. The second one hadn't come out yet.
Part 2,
Oh shit.
The first one was great.
The first one was awesome. The second one looked shit. Don't even bother. I mean, watch it if you want to see what's her name, Eva Green, naked for like 80% of the movie because she's literally naked for 80%. Yeah. Like her clothes just keeps falling off. Not that she's having sex or nothing. She's just walking and it's just her clothes falls off. That's pretty much what I think. Whoever Frank Miller or Robert Rodriguez were like, yeah, you know, she's beautiful. Let's just have her naked. And she doesn't
no
give,
point.
Yeah, no point. It was really pointless. It was pointless.
Yeah.
But I saw The Spirit. I now just once at the cinema, and I was like, "What a piece of shit!" I would actually watch it again if you guys want it down. Yeah, I just have to find it.
We would just have to find a movie that we all haven't seen, though.
Yeah,
which might be a little harder.
Have you seen the trailer? Are you a fan of Rogan and Franco? Seth Rogen?
Yeah.
Have you seen the trailer for The Disaster Artist?
Oh my god, I want to see that. You're tearing me apart, Lisa. That guy, Tommy Wiseau.
I have the book that the movie's based on.
The Disaster Artist book, yeah.
And I saw the original movie that the book is based on.
The Room? Oh my god. So I mean, I've only seen...
I saw it only with the Mystery 3000 people, the Riff Tracks people, commentating over it.
Oh, we should do that.
I haven't seen it with no commentary.
We should watch that movie. I think, because I know Erlen
Have you seen
it? I haven't seen it. I've only seen the clips on YouTube.
Right. But you haven't seen the movie.
No.
Oh my, dude. That movie is so bad.
I did not hit her. It's not
I
true.
Did not hit her.
Oh,
hi, Mark.
Yeah.
Oh, hi.
I did not. Oh, hi, Mark.
I did not. Oh, wow. When I saw James Franco in that 2-minute trailer doing it, I was like, wow, he did it so good. That's exactly how he did it.
He kept saying
and he's
line.
like, action.
Line.
Dude, that movie is...
That trailer looked good. I'm dying to see that movie.
I think it's coming out this year, somewhere in the fall. But yeah, we should watch that. That movie's... It was so bad. It was it's so bad, dude. I can't even tell you because I don't want to spoil it.
No, I'm down for that. We should do that.
What's another bad movie that we can...
I mean, the spoiler, it's not going to bother me. What about
What's another bad movie?
When he goes into the flower shop?
Okay.
And he sees the cat?
Yeah.
The cat or the dog? Oh, hi, doggy. Or something. Hey, doggy.
Yeah. like
and she's like, you're my favorite customer.
Yeah. And in reading that book, which I haven't...
so bad.
I started only the first chapter recently.
Yeah.
The act... Because it's written by one of the actors on the movie.
Yeah, the guy that plays Mark, I heard.
I don't know.
Is the guy
I can't remember. But going online and reading about the book, I just wanted to read a little bit about it. they say the guy who wrote it, was basically like when he was on set, he was like, "What the fuck is going on? Like, is this guy for real? Like, he's really like this terrible or something? Like
he knew it was bad.
Oh man, he knew from the beginning.
They're throwing footballs back and forth to each other
for there was no plot reason for the football." And
I haven't seen the movie, but I feel like I had just from all the
clips.
clips.
It's been a cult classic, a cult in in like bad cinema because Tommy Wiseau actually goes to these conventions and signs autograph, and is happy that he's popular, but for the wrong reasons.
Yeah. I mean, good for him, man. He made something that that resonated with people in
that
a funny
movie's
way.
So bad, dude.
Yeah, I think we should do that, man. We should talk to Erlen and see if
I saw it with Javier. He's the one that introduced me to that movie. He's like, Robert, because him and
saw Javier too.
I gotta see his schedule as always because he's an hour behind.
Yeah.
But
how is he, by the way, with the whole hurricane?
He's good because he's in Dallas, so they didn't get hit that affected. Okay. It was probably some rain. I'd say.
Yeah,
he did tell me the day of the hurricane or before, hours before it hit South Texas, that there was an earthquake. It was a 3.1.
Oh shit!
Yeah, I think he felt. Yeah, it was near him because it's near Allen, and I think he's close to that city. Yeah.
So sorry, you were saying about
So it was like in 2011. I think I took like spring break off, and I visited Javier. He was living in Kansas at the time, and he's like, "Robert, we gotta watch this movie. It's gonna have the commentary of the riff tracks guys. They're Mystery 3000.
Theater,
yeah, but they changed. They're gonna be commentating over the movie. I'm like, oh, I don't care. And they made it so fun because they were like, "This is the scene where he did this," and man, it was just
like they're commenting.
Yeah,
I think that would be great.
Yeah, I was laughing, and everybody. It was Javier, myself, and his friend. We were all laughing, man. It's funny. I'm trying to think of other movies we can do. There's a lot of possibilities.
Well, this isn't bad necessarily. It's just weird, but also extremely hilarious. Have you seen any of the Wet Hot American Summer?
I saw the original on Netflix. Okay. Then I saw the sequel that takes place 10 years later.
Well, the sequel is before.
Oh no, prequel. The prequel.
Yeah,
it was a prequel. Yeah.
Prequel.
Sorry. Now they have released a sequel.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the sequel, which takes place 10 or 15 years after.
It's good. It's still funny. It's just not as good as the other two.
Did you like the prequel a lot? I mean, I laughed in some parts.
Man,
yeah, more than the movie. I like the movie a lot.
No. The movie for me was better.
Yeah,
but no, I did love the prequel.
So the sequel? Did you see the sequel?
Yeah, I saw the sequel.
Wasn't as good as the prequel?
No.
I have to watch it. The sequel, I mean.
But it's so stupid. I think we could do that too. I know. I don't think Erlen's seen those.
No,
I don't think so. I don't know about Javier if he's seen.
No, I don't think he's never mentioned it. We usually say, "Hey, have you seen this?" But we haven't discussed that. We could do that.
There's a lot of movies we could do.
A lot. I was just saying more of a movie because that's a show, and a show is like hours.
Yeah. I mean, the first one is
unless we do like it's how long is each episode? Half an hour or an hour of the American?
Yeah, half an hour.
That's like 4 hours then. For all the episodes.
I mean, we could just do because that would be a long ass.
I'm down for it. We just have to take breaks in between.
Or we could, like part one.
yeah.
Or we could do the movie itself. The first.
We could talk.
That was less than 2 hours, I would think.
It was like 90 minutes. Yeah. I don't even think it reached 2 hours. Yeah, we can definitely do that. We have to plan it and do a movie or something like that. Have you seen Did you see Dunkirk?
No, man.
We could do it with that then. Oh, but that's a movie you have to watch better, like alone, because you don't want to ruin it. Like we're talking and you can't hear.
Oh yeah.
Because that movie it's very immersive. Because there's very little dialogue, very little. It's mostly visual and sound.
Yeah,
that's it. Which is unique. I was reading the reviews, and the reviews were amazing. And they were like, "Yeah, it's a movie there's very little dialogue, but it's very visual." And I go watch it that day with my friends and family. We all enjoyed it, but the reviews were right. They were like, there's very little dialogue. Very little. And some scenes with the dialogue, it was hard to understand because of the chaos, the gunfights and all the battles.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is he saying?
I heard it's a loud movie.
Because I think that was his goal. He wanted you to be immersed and feel what these guys felt. during
More
that.
so than Saving
attack.
Private Ryan, for example.
Kind of, yeah. It's very like, it's very nerve wracking because you actually feel what these not feel, but you're immersed.
Yeah.
Without spoiling anything, you feel like you're in the water. You feel like you're in the plane. You feel like you're in these boats. Yeah,
I gotta see that one.
Very good, very well done. Like Nolan has not disappointed. Even though people talk shit about Interstellar, I loved Interstellar. Yeah, but there's a lot of people that talk. They're like, the movie was kind of weak and this and that. Look, I understand. Spielberg was the original director. 5 years before, or a few years before Nolan signed on, Spielberg left.
Interstellar, really?
Yeah, he was the original director. He came up with the idea.
Huh.
Him and somebody else, the writer. But then Nolan took over, did his own, writing on it and whatever, and made it his own.
No, I thought Interstellar was great. I honestly don't think he's made a bad movie. A lot of people would probably argue
Insomnia, a lot of people say that they don't like that.
I loved Insomnia with Al Pacino and
yeah.
Was it Robin Williams?
Yeah.
Yeah, Al Pacino and Robin Williams.
And Hilary Swank and I forgot the guy's name, but yeah, it has a good cast.
I actually really liked Insomnia. I remember renting that.
But if you were to rank it out of all his films, where would that rank? To me, it would rank on the bottom. Very, very bottom.
Probably, yeah. I mean, I never saw Prestige.
Oh, that's a good movie.
I never saw Prestige.
We could actually, well, if you want to watch it first, or we can actually review it, do a commentary while we're recording here. It's a good movie.
I heard that one was great.
Very good. Underrated, because a lot of people haven't seen it, but it is really good. He did that right after Batman Begins.
Was it after?
Right after.
It was. Okay,
it came out within 6 months or something like that.
Right.
6 months apart.
And
Christian Bale. Yeah. It came out right around that time.
I haven't seen that one, and I haven't seen Dunkirk, but I've seen all his other movies. I saw Memento. Well, I haven't seen The Following, which probably a lot of people haven't seen it either.
It's his debut.
Yeah, the first movie that he ever made.
I saw it, didn't finish it.
Yeah.
I didn't finish it. Not because it was bad, but because...
I almost don't count that one usually because...
A lot of people don't count it because it was not. It was. It was. Yeah.
It
was.
He was still a student.
It was made for less than $1 million. I don't remember much about it because it was so long ago. And I actually saw it around this release, like in 2000 or 1999. That's how long ago it came out, or 98. But yeah, a lot of people don't consider it as one of his movies because he was still learning. He was still creating his.
Right. Yeah.
There wasn't a lot of the Nolan vibe that you see from his movies now.
Which Memento was where it kind of
that's where he set his stamp. He's like, okay, I'm gonna do play with these flashbacks.
That was great.
So
Prestige and Dunkirk really, and The Following, I guess, but those are the ones I haven't seen.
Yeah, Prestige is really good. You gotta check that out.
Dunkirk too.
I think Dunkirk is coming out on Blu-ray very soon or digital. I think within the next month, this month. I've seen it announced somewhere. Yeah, so fuck Nintendo.
Fucking Nintendo. Go fuck yourself.
Go fuck yourself. And look, it's not. I'm not bashing Nintendo because if Sony were doing the same thing, I would say fuck Sony and I would say fuck Microsoft. I just don't feel that they're
Sony recently because they didn't want to do Rocket League and do cross-platform play.
Yes,
I thought that was kind of
now
fucked up.
Sony said that they're talking with Microsoft about allowing cross-platform play with the Microsoft people.
So they learned.
Yeah, because they got backlash. Nobody liked that. Microsoft was like, "Yeah, we can do it on the PC." Well, because they own the PC market, the Windows market. But
their reasoning was stupid, though.
Right.
The reasoning was that they wanted to police, I guess, the stuff that's said and done by kids.
That's bullshit.
They wanted to protect kids.
Bullshit.
Basically. I'm like, who wants to protect kids more than Nintendo?
Because the Elite Dangerous, which I think you can do cross-platform on the Xbox and PC, Sony said no, we're not going to allow it for the PS4. And I was like, what the heck? Because I'm traveling in the Galaxy. Great game, but it's not a game for everybody.
What is it, Elite?
Elite Dangerous. It just came out on the PS4 in June this year.
Okay.
It's been out on the PC for 3 years and Xbox for 2 years. Xbox One for 2 years. So Sony just got it. And it's an MMO, so you're playing with actual people. But sometimes I'm just traveling in Galaxy. It's like No Man's Sky, but a lot better.
Oh, I heard.
It's what No Man's Sky should have been.
You rented it, didn't you?
I got it right there.
Or you bought it.
But not new. I bought it as a hand-me-down for like $15.
Yeah.
It was on sale. I would never pay $60 for that. My brother made that error. And he liked it, but then a month after playing it, he's like, you know what? It's a piece of shit. I'm not going to play it.
We convince ourselves
when
we spend money
When you spend money, he tried it. He's like, nah, fuck that. So Elite Dangerous is like you're immersed and you have to learn how to fly the ship. It's not as arcadey as No Man's Sky. So you have to watch all the gears and the display. So yeah, it's like a real simulator. Dedicated space simulator. Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, but I haven't played it in a while either because a lot of missions are time based. So if I start a mission and it tells you in real time you have a day and 3 hours to finish it. If you don't, they give you a penalty.
I hate that shit.
Yeah, so
I remember that's kind of.
I'm busy, and the next day I'm like, oh, I forgot to play, and then when I turn on, you failed the mission.
Yeah, that's kind of what turned me off with Dead Rising.
Oh yeah,
I thought it was great, and it's so much fun to play, but constantly people are dying left and right.
Yeah, you're like, what?
I'm like, I don't care. I want to fight these people. Like, whatever.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Time-based stuff.
That's what's kept me off and been busy running around the past few weekends.
Yeah.
What else? So you've been playing recently Mario Rabbids.
Mario plus Rabbids, yeah.
And you enjoy it.
I did enjoy it. However, I've never been one for tactical games.
Right.
So much. So it was kind of like, it was very enjoyable. And the combat is fun. Mm-hmm. But there were times where I'm like, oh, I just want to keep going. Come on. Stop.
Right.
Like, you're stopping me here so I can fight again. I don't want to fight anymore. So there was a little bit of that, but I got through it. The ending was kind of funny. Remind me to tell you that. If you don't care about spoilers when you're off, or
right,
or when you finally beat the game, if you wind up playing it or whatever.
Yeah, I'll have it. Probably I'll rent it or something.
But. Yeah, it was good. I definitely, from both of those. And
would you recommend that?
Yeah. Whoa, tricky. I would if you're a big fan of Mario, and if
you like
tactical games, I would definitely recommend that. However, I still think $60 is too much. I paid it, but
it's too much.
Yeah.
I'll probably wait until it drops. If it drops, because Nintendo's they're kind of dicks about dropping the prices in their games.
Yeah, they don't, man.
Yeah.
Freaking what was it? I remember when I had my Wii U, and it had been maybe 2 years already that the Wii U had been out. Games had come and gone.
There were still $60.
Fucking new Super Mario Brothers Wii U, which came out when the system launched, was still $60.
Yeah, they do that.
Fuck, man.
Yeah.
Right now, at the moment, new Super Mario Brothers 2 for the DS, for the 3DS, is still, I think, $40.
Serious?
Or 30, but it's still almost at the price of a regular
game.
Yeah, and yet fucking games like the Wind Waker Wii U, I remember that dropped. So
yeah, they did drop.
They're really weird about that. Like, even though it's a popular game, they'll drop it, but then there's other ones
that they won't
drop for some reason. I don't know, bro. Nintendo's business practices have go fuck yourself.
Go fuck yourself, Nintendo.
It really confused me.
Yeah. Nintendo. Get me into
that. But no, I played that. Uncharted Lost Legacy, I 100% recommend to anybody, especially for the price.
See, I was happy that they did that. The price, $40.
Yeah.
That was good. That was nice of Naughty Dog to do, because or Sony, because $60 for a game that's not really a full game. You know,
it feels like
a full game. Okay, because I've heard mixed people say no, it's not a full game. It's just an expansion. And then, like you just said, some people say no, it is a full game. It's a full game.
I wouldn't
not long, like 20 hours, like Uncharted 4 was. But
right, I wouldn't say expansion so much, because it's not like you're not continuing off anything from
no spoilers.
Extent,
yeah,
because Nadine is in it. And you see her in the trailer.
She was in the fourth game. Sorry,
but for the most part, it's not. There's nothing.
It's
its own game.
Just to touch about Nadine. So my fiance, she saw me playing the game, and at one point she looks and she's doing something on her laptop or something, and she looks at the TV and she's like, "Oh, what's the name of this movie?" And I go, "What do you mean? Don't you see the controller in my hand, the PlayStation remote controller in my hand?" Wait a minute. So, yeah, but you're using that to pause the movie because you use it to watch Netflix. What's the movie called? And I go, no, that's not a movie. That's a game. She's like, that's a fucking game? wow, that shit looks so amazing. It looks like a
does.
movie. And I go, it's a cinematic game.
Yeah.
And she was like, wow, that's pretty awesome.
Does, man.
Yeah, she had never seen the Uncharted series before.
Wasn't that, I think it was Uncharted 2. You remember when they had those old PS2 commercials? Or no, PS3 commercials with Kevin Butler?
Yeah, I remember.
Those funny commercials.
Yeah.
There was one with Uncharted 2.
Right.
Where the guy, I don't remember exactly, so I'm probably 100% wrong
fucking
on
it
how
up.
this commercial went.
Yeah.
But I think it was something like, he's like, dear PlayStation, what do I do? Because my girlfriend wants to have movie night, but I just want to play Uncharted 2. He's like, well, you're in luck. Uncharted 2 is just tell her it's a movie and keep playing.
Oh, I don't remember
to that.
Yeah.
I don't remember how it
I don't
worked,
remember
I was
that.
like, oh, this was brilliant.
I gotta look it up on YouTube.
But I guess it worked with your fiance.
Yeah, but that game, speaking of Uncharted 2, that out of all four Uncharted 2 is still my favorite.
Yeah.
That to me was like amazing what they did in Uncharted 2.
For me, it's Uncharted 4.
Really?
And
it's not bad.
Uncharted 2.
It's not bad, and I love Uncharted 4, but Uncharted 2 is still up there.
Yeah.
Maybe because I don't know, something about it was just like
it's great. It's a great game.
It's just an amazing game.
Great.
Like Uncharted 1 was good. I was like, you know what? This is a good game. That's not bad.
Yeah.
2 years later, Uncharted 2 came out. I was like, wow.
Well,
fucking amazing. This is on the PS3. These are the graphics that the PS. Just the graphics, the gameplay. I felt like I was literally playing a movie.
Well, it's funny because when I first got my PS3, I remember I was working that day, so I ended up giving the money to my brother and telling him, hey, go pick up a PS3 for me. And then, I don't know if you remember Spider-Man 2, the video game.
Okay, the...
Part 2 for the PS2.
PS2 or 3?
No. It was when I got my PS3, but I want to see if you remember Spider-Man 2.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
So that was a great game.
Yes.
And it was well-reviewed.
Uh-huh.
So when I got my PS3, I gave my brother the money, and I'm like, hey, go get me. And in my mind, I'm like, this proven commodity of Spider-Man 3, because I know Spider-Man 3 is going to be fantastic since Spider-Man 2 was, and now it's with better graphics.
Mm-hmm.
And I go, and get me that game with the guy with the gun in his back. Like, he's holding like a shotgun in his back. I'm like, it's something different. You know, it's probably not going to be great, but whatever. It's something to play with my new PS3.
System.
So then he did that, and I remember he gave me the stuff. So then I pop in Spider-Man 3, and I'm like, man, this is shit.
Yeah. I never played Spider-Man 3, but yeah.
It's nowhere near.
And it was based on the game, or just their own property, or was based on the movie?
The movie.
Oh, yeah, I never.
It was bad.
No.
Then I'm like, well, let me pop in this Uncharted game.
The first one?
Yeah, the first one. Oh my god, dude, I fell in love.
Yeah, it was awesome.
From the beginning of that game, I was like, fuck, this is fantastic.
Yeah, the graphics were great, everything.
Ever since then, I've been hooked on that series.
But to me, the second one, and to a lot of people, I think the second one, up until before part 4, just on the first 3, the second one was the best reviewed one in the series.
Yeah.
It was.
I agree. Part 3 was great, but it kind of... It wasn't as good
as
part 2.
It wasn't as good. And I think it was just the writing, just the whole, I don't know. Not that the writing was bad, but the whole, like the story. Just, it wasn't as impactful as the second one.
It really wasn't. Part 2 was
and part
really
4,
great.
Some people didn't like that Sam was, that Sam was with you, and you have to watch but you don't really have to watch for a second. Sam does his own thing.
You see, you never in those games. You never have to watch.
I've read some reviews and seen some YouTube videos where they say that Sam gets in the way. I'm like, he never got in the way.
No.
And I actually like that bond.
Yeah.
Especially if you have a sibling, you can relate. Oh, look, my sibling. It's like you feel like you're, if you and your sibling go on an adventure, this is what it would be like.
Yeah. Naughty Dog is never bad about that because even Last of Us.
Yeah.
You're supposed to protect Ellie. That's the whole
She does
story.
her own thing.
She does her own thing. And there are times it's hilarious. It's kind of glitchy and funny, but when you're getting into like trying to sneak around, she'll run clearly in front of
front of you. You're like
no, not in front of me. I'm saying in front of the bad guys.
Yeah,
and they don't do shit.
They don't see her.
It's like they don't see her,
but they see you.
Yeah, I feel like I'm traveling around with a ghost, and I'm the only one who sees her.
Yeah,
but so I never thought Sam.
That's happened a few times since I'm playing it recently, Uncharted 4.
Yeah,
you know that part in that island, not the island with the storm, the one before the storm. there's like tall grass, and you're hiding in the grass.
Yeah.
Well, there's a part where the enemy comes in front, and I'm behind the wall, and Sam is like, which way do I go? Where do I go?
He's like right in front of him.
And then he passes in front of the guy, and the guy sees him. And I thought
he did see
him?
him?
Yeah, he did see him, and he chokes him. So Sam actually chokes him.
Oh,
so I'm like, okay, that's
okay.
smart. The
Yeah.
AI is smart because typically, if it was The Last of Us, the AI would not see Sam and would just walk away.
Right.
I'm like, that's kind of.
I never noticed.
Yeah, and this one I noticed that Sam sees the enemy, and the enemy sees Sam because Sam couldn't get out of the way.
Yeah,
and Sam just chokes him out.
There was at least one time in Uncharted Lost Legacy where it felt like that Last of Us, where the other character kind of
got in the way,
obviously there,
in
front of the guy.
Maybe it could happen. It's not perfect. It's a computer.
No, and there was a segment in the beginning of the game, it's not a driving segment, but you do drive to certain spots that it felt a little too open world for me in that one moment.
Talking about 4 or Lost Legacy?
Lost Legacy.
Okay,
but it was still great. Like, the game was still
4 had a driving segment that felt open worldish, but it wasn't really.
Right.
Madagascar.
This one more.
Okay, more.
So
okay, wow.
I do remember that. That's when you have to connect the hitch to like the tree. And
Got it.
Yourself up the,
yeah.
But this one was a little more. It felt a little more open worldy. Like, you can pick which one you go to.
Oh, that's not bad.
But you still have to go to all of them.
Mm.
But at the same time, it's so weird that, like, you feel like you're going the wrong way sometimes, and you just happen to end up where you're supposed to be. So, but it was still great. Like, and once you get past that portion of it, everything else is just typical Uncharted.
Uncharted is amazing. So I'm gonna play it. Hopefully not. I'll get it tomorrow, The Lost Legacy, but I won't probably play it until I finish 4. But I want to touch upon and wrap it up. So with the Sony, so there's rumors online that Sony is secretly working on PlayStation 5.
Oh wow, I haven't heard.
And the rumor is that they're aiming for a 2019-2020 release. Do you think that it is too soon for a PlayStation 5, or do you think that it's, even though it's been 4.5, let me see,
PlayStation 4 came out
2013, late, like November, December 2013. This is going to be the 4th anniversary of the PlayStation 4.
Almost 7 years.
Do you think that 2019 is too soon?
2020 or 2019?
Or both? Or they say 2019 or 2020 release for the PS5. Do you still think that Sony can get more out of the PS4?
I think they can get more out of the PS4, but that might be my ignorance talking, because I consistently say this, but I almost mean it more so now. I mean, I always mean it. I just don't see how it can get any better. Like, how can you get better than what graphically or visually you're already seeing in these games?
You could. I mean, the PC can do a little bit better. Remember when the PS4 came out, PCs, there wasn't a lot of PCs that can do what the PS4 did when it came out 4 years ago. Now the PCs always surpass the console, so the PC surpassed the PS4 a few years ago.
Which I understand,
and power,
but they passed them in frame rate, they passed them in visuals, but the the difference is what I mean. Like, you can see a clear difference from a PS3 to a PS4.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Where if I'm looking at a PS4 version of a PC game,
it's very subtle. It's not
more exactly. Yeah. So that's what I mean by, like, okay, I'm sure it can get better, and the only reason they would make it is if it is going to get better.
Right.
But how much better can it get? Like, I feel like I'm good right now.
Well,
that's why I say it might be ignorance.
I'm in agreement with you. I think 2019 is too soon.
Yeah.
The PS3 was, 2006, 2013. That was when the PS4 came out. That's 8 years or 7 years?
That is 7 years.
Right. So 7-8 years, I would say good. So 2019, I still think is too soon. It'll be 6 years.
Yeah.
I say 2020 would be more ideal, or be realistic time frame for them to do it. Although, if their margin cap is almost at the end, Sony might just release it in 2019. They might just release it sooner if they can. Especially with 4K now, the push, and well, we have the PS4 Pro, but it's not really a 4K. You can't play movies or Blu-rays yet. The 4K Blu-rays, while the Xbox One X, which is coming out in October, will play 4K Blu-rays. So the Xbox One X is going to be powerful. Yeah. So I would hope that Sony waits to 2020, but I see it 2019 because they're going to compete with Microsoft and say ours is more powerful. Ours plays 4K Blu-rays. And look at the graphics compared to the Xbox One X. Nah, ours is better. I'm pretty sure Sony's.
But why wouldn't Xbox decide to make an Xbox 2?
They could, but right now their push is One X.
Right,
which is their 4K.
A few months ago, PlayStation's push was PlayStation 4 Pro.
Yeah, and it's selling good, but I mean, it's selling well from what I've seen and what they're saying. Yeah. Sure. My brother has a Pro. He got it because he got a 4K TV. You can't.
Is it worth it though? Like.
He says he's noticed a slight graphical upgrade, especially on his 4K TV. Right. A smoother frame rates in certain games. And as soon as you put the game in, like he's for Uncharted 4, when he put it in, it downloads a new patch to play it in 4K. Huh. So a lot of games, I think it's like a good 60% of current games, there's patches to upgrade the... it's not a lot, obviously, but it does make it, the frame rate is faster. It has more memory, so it helps with the...
I feel like it's too soon, man.
But yeah, I think it's too soon.
Nintendo's gonna be left in the dust, bro, because they just came out
with the Switch. Yeah,
and I love it again, but even now, it's not as powerful.
It's
as
not. It will not be. Let's say in 3 years, 2 or 3 years, the PS5 comes out. There's no way that they can port those games to the Switch. There's no way.
They're gonna be maybe 1.5 generations behind.
Yeah,
yeah. It still seems like they're between the Wii U or the PlayStation 3 and the PS4.
Yeah, with the Switch, they're in between that.
But
it's the Switch feels like a PS3.5 in graphical power.
Right.
Yeah, it's not PlayStation 4 quality, but
I know you got to catch up, man.
Yeah. Any last words?
Fuck yourself.
All right, that's where it's gonna end. See you. It was great having Frankie back on the podcast. We're planning on doing a. So we were speaking about those movies that we want to do, like a live commentary while we're watching it. We actually have it scheduled to do a live commentary for the Tommy Wiseau, however the fuck his name is pronounced. The movie that he did that he's famously known for. I think it's his only movie too that he directed and wrote and starred in. The infamous The Room. I was able to get it on a streaming app, and we're going to be doing that, I think, in 2 weeks. So, I'm not sure. Maybe that'll be episode 37, maybe 38. I'll post it on social media, on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, when that's going to be. So, if you guys, with that, the way it'll work is, obviously, you guys would watch the movie or try to watch the movie. I'll put a countdown timer so when I hit play in the movie, you guys can sync it and, watch it along with us. It will be like a live commentary. Laugh with us at the same scenes or, interact with us that way. You can email us things that you found, great or bad or terrible or that you thought wasn't so bad in the movie. That's what we aim to do with that. You don't even have to watch the movie. You can just listen to it. I've listened to commentary tracks on podcasts without watching the movie at all. It's just, just to hear people talk about the movie, whether it's a good movie or a movie that's the world has known to be terrible. It's just fun. So that's another way you can do it. So, yeah, that's what we're going to do. That's what we're hoping for. And hopefully we get another Wise Guys episode coming in the next couple weeks, hopefully this weekend, if not then soon. And we have the sponsors: Loot Crate, we have Gamefly, BarkBox. They're all on the description of this episode in your app. For I think you click on more or details or more description on the podcast episode, you'll see the links there with the discounts or free offers for some of those promotions. Some of them are free, so as I mentioned, and some of them are discounts. So just make sure you read that. And yeah, that's it. Really, that is it. That is it for now. I'm done. I'm tired. I'm sure you are. I won't talk anymore unless you guys want me to. Let me know on social media or email bitsforyoupodcast@gmail.com, Twitter @bitsforyoupodcast, iTunes. Please rate us and review us on iTunes or Apple Podcasts from your iPhone, iPad, or any of the apps that you're listening to us that allows for reviews. Thank you.